Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where I'm working with you step by step through each of the ABRSM Theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets. They are available to download in US letter or A4 to accompany each step of this series. There's a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also access information about the books that I have available. I've written How to Take Your ABRSM Music Theory Exam. It's an exam technique guide full of hints and tips on how to best prepare for your exam, and also how to make the best use of the time when you're in the exam room on exam day. So if you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find it's all there. If you can give me a like, that'd be fab, and subscribe to my channel to keep updated. There's lots more in store. And now we're going to press on in, and we're going to look at the second paper of the 2015 Music Theory past papers for this grade 2. So if we turn to page 6, we'll find paper B. And we'll make a start on this. These papers, although they're from a few years ago, still provide excellent revision opportunity, and so I always suggest that you try and work through this on your own. First of all, always work in pencil. Have a nice sharp pencil and an eraser, and you could also do with a ruler as well, just so it all stays neat and tidy. And if you're writing in pencil, if you've made a mistake or got something wrong, it doesn't matter, you can rub it out, and it's always better to learn by your mistakes. And so let's look at question 1. Question 1 asks us to add time signatures to each of these 5 melodies. So we're going to have 5 different time signatures, and so we need to first of all decide what the bottom number is going to be. Are we going to be counting in crotchet beats, quarter notes, or minim beats, half notes, or quaver beats, eighth notes? And so let's just make a decision here. So we can't count this in minim beats or half notes because we've got 1 minim beat here, but then this is incomplete. There isn't enough in a bar to make more than 1 minim worth in complete form. So we're going to be counting in crotchets, I suggest, in quarter notes. So let's see how that works out. With number 4 as our bottom number, we've got 1 beat here, 1 crotchet beat. These 2 quavers, or these 2 eighth notes, they give us a crotchet beat or a quarter note. Those 2, half plus a half gives us 1. We've got 1, 2, 3, and 3 over 4 is the answer to that. You can by all means check in other bars. That's quite a difficult bar to have chosen first off. So let's look at this one. We've got a 1, 2 halves make 1, 2 halves make 1, 1, 2, 3. Here we've got a 1 beat, and then a dot after it makes it half as long again. So that's 1 1/2. Here is a half a beat, so that now makes 2, plus another beat makes 3. If we look at this bar here, that's a little bit busier, just the last double check. This is 3/4 of a beat, this is a quarter, altogether making a beat. We know it's 1 beat because they're beamed together, but if, like me, maths isn't your strong point, I visualise this. There's a whole beat. I'm going to divide it into quarters. So here, this is half a beat. The dot after it makes it half as long again. So there's a quarter. And then that leaves us with a remaining quarter. And we can see that that's 1 beat now complete. However, if you've chosen it with 1 bar, it's going to match for the rest. So by the time you've double checked it once or twice, you know that you're okay. So I would choose this bar here to help us find the time signature. And again, I think we're going to be counting in quarter notes or crotchet beats, because if we're counting this in minim or half notes, that makes 1, and you can't have a bar with just 1 beat in it. So if we're counting in quarter notes or crotchet beats, those 2 are half a beats which make a 1, those 2 are half a beats which make a 1, so we've got 2 over 4, so that makes sense. So then we can just do a little double check. For example, here we've got a rest worth half a beat. We've got a 1 beat note, and then we've got 2/4 of a beat, which give us a half added together. So 1 plus 2 halves makes 2. And so you could do that throughout. Let's move on to the next one. So now, at a glance, I think it's pretty safe to say we're going to be counting in minim beats, or half notes. So our bottom number is 2. So now we're counting in units of a minim, or a half note. So then, let's have a look at this. So we've got one minim beat here, one half note, we've got one there, we've got one there, and actually that is also a minim or a half note. Don't forget to include your rest. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 over 2. Let's just check that in these other bars. We've got one here. Those 2 crotchets or quarter notes add up to a minim or a half note. So there's one, there's one, there's one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've got one here. That's a half of a minim because it's half as much again. And then this is also half of a minim. So those 2 together, the dot and the crotchet or the quarter note, give us a beat, a minim beat. There's one, and there's a minim or a half note rest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's correct. Let's look at this next one. Now I would say this is the easiest bar to start with. And again, I would suggest we can be counting in crotchet beats. So we'll start with that. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 over 4. Let's look at this bar. 1, 2. There's a beat. Plus half, because the dot is half as long again. And there's the remaining half of a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4 over 4. This beat here, this bar here, sorry, remember a triplet means 3 in the time of 2. So what we've actually got here is that amount of time. So we've got 1, 2, 3, and then a rest is 4. So 4 over 4 is acceptable. I guess you could say it could be 2 over 2, because if we look at the maths, 1, 2, 3, 4 is the same mathematically as that. So 2 over 2 could be an acceptable answer. And then of course you could choose to write the common time symbol or the à la brève, the split common time symbol. So any of those would be correct. Let's look at this next one. So I say this bar here is the easiest to first of all figure out your time signature, and we can't be counting in quarter notes or crotchet beats because there isn't enough to complete, because that and that would give us 1 crotchet beat, and then we've only got half left. So we're going to have to count this in quavers or eighth notes, and then straight away this makes sense because we've got 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, 3 over 8. So let's just double check that we've got 1 here as a rest, 1 here, here. So 1, 2, 3. So we've got quaver, 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 or eighth notes. Now here we've got 16th notes or semiquavers, and we know that 2 semiquavers make a quaver. So there's 1. There's another quaver or eighth note, and there's another one, of course. So 1, 2, 3, that makes sense. Here we have a crotchet or a quarter note, which we know makes 2 quavers, and then 2 semiquavers give us the value of a quaver. So 1, 2, 3, and so you can see that that's the correct answer. There we go then. Let's move on. Now we're not going to be answering this question because from 2018 onwards the revised exam paper no longer requires us to write a 4-bar rhythm. You can find some examples of this still in your music theory and practice, and by all means have a go just as revision to practice writing the correct number of beats per bar and grouping them correctly. But for exam purposes we won't be doing the 4-bar rhythm, and so we'll just press on to the next question. So if you turn to page 7, we're just going to have to do a little bit of writing note names. So all we've got to do is make sure that we watch out which clef we're in, and then we need to remember the key signature. They've even helpfully said, so we need to give the letter name of each of the notes marked with a star, and they've helpfully reminded us to include the sharp sign where necessary. So here we've got an F sharp, a C sharp and a G sharp. So that's what we need to watch out for. And if it is that you're not terribly familiar with the bass clef, depending on what instrument you play, they've even given us the first note that we can work out from. So we know that the bottom space is an A. If you remember, spaces are all cows eat grass, A, C, E, G. And so one down from A for the line is a G, so G, B, good boys deserve football always, might help you. So let's just go on through. Now this here is our middle C. If you weren't sure, you'd think, well, good boys deserve football always. A is the top line, B is the space, C is the next line. Just work it out from where you're familiar with. However, of course, that's not quite the answer because we know it should be C sharp because of your key signature. All cows eat grass, that's a G. However, of course, it's a G sharp because of your key signature. One above G is A, or good boys deserve football always, A. Or if you were really stuck, you could work it out from this note that they've given us. They've given us this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, an octave higher. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. So you can see how you can figure it out even if you get a little bit stuck. So this one, good boys deserve football, F. However, it's F sharp because of your key signature. So you need to remember your key signature for full marks. Good boys, that's a B. All cows eat, that's an E. Good boys deserve, that's a D. All cows, that's a C. However, remember it's C sharp. There we go. The last part of this question, we're asked to draw a circle around two notes next to each other that are our fifth apart. So we're looking for a fair jump apart. So this first one looks promising. So we always count from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Straight away, there's our fifth. That's that then. Let's move on to the next question. So question 4 asks us to rewrite this melody in the treble clef. We need to keep the pitch the same, so just be careful you don't jump octaves. However, they've given us the first 3 notes, so really they've done the thinking for us. We just need to continue carefully. So we can see here is middle C, our anchor point. There's middle C, C, D, E, C, D, E. However, because they've started us off, now we just need to keep in step. So E, down a step, back up a step. Now we're going down 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2 is the space 3. And you can see that that's a C. So we've gone from middle C to middle C. So there's a good checkpoint to check we've not gone wrong. There's our middle C. Up a step. I'm not worrying about stems yet, so let's just get the blobs in place. Up a step E, and we can see that we've come back to where we started, so we know we're not wrong. Down 3 again, back to the C. And now we're going to have to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, C, D, E, F. 1, 2, 3, 4, C, D, E, F. So just make sure you count the given note here. Back down to the C where we started. Up a step to the D. Now we've got a big jump down, so let's be careful here. 1 is the space, 2 is the line, 3 is the space, 4 is the line, 5 is the space. So we're going to have to do some ledger lines here. So 1 is the space, 2 is the line, 3 is the space, 4 is the line, 5 is the space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. D, C, B, A, G. D, C, B, A, G. There we go. Up a step. Oh, so that should... I haven't done enough lines there. That's why it didn't fit. So we need 2 ledger lines. Up a step. There we go. Up another step. We can lose one of those ledger lines. That takes us to the B below middle C. So that's correct. 1 step higher should take us to middle C. So that's correct with a dot. Same note again. Now up a step, back down a step should take us back to C. There we go. And now, of course, because we've changed clef, we're going to have to change the way the stems go. Looks to me like everything is below that middle line, so everything is going to have the stems going up. So we've done all the thinking now. Just pop these stems in. And there we go, that's the job done. And that's the end of that question. We'll have a look at the next question in the next video. I do hope this is helpful to you. I hope that you're enjoying it. I certainly am. If you can give me a like, that'd be super fab. Please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. And please also do access the information on the website. There's lots of resource to help you there. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find all you'll need there. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.